access to health care, the ongoing debate of the DREAM Act, the never-ending battle of poverty in America, undocumented immigrants looking for a better life. These topics are national headlines and displayed on news outlets across the country. They're topics not many people want to talk about, topics that led students from the Midwest to the Rio Grande Valley. Seven journalism students from St. Louis, Missouri traveled more than 1,000 miles to Weslaco in search of the struggles. They wanted to know what it's like being a teenager living so close to the border. They would spend a week at Weslaco East High School with students from a different culture. What they found surprised them. The idea started because of a friendship formed many years ago.
I had the opportunity with Chris. He's a good friend of mine. We've known each other since about 6th grade, maybe 5th grade.
But those stories are what's going to make this a significant project.
Chris Holmes is a journalism teacher at Hazelwood West High School located in the suburbs of St. Louis.
I'm Stephanie.
Stephanie Inlow is a counselor at Weslaco East High School. She grew up in Hazelwood. Inlow and Holmes became friends in middle school.
Because I have a friend down here at Weslaco East, Stephanie Inlow, who's a counselor, that seemed like the first logical place to check. And that's the element of the story, that we have to report on.
Holmes, a former journalist, wanted his students to experience the real duties of being a reporter. Holmes decided to plan a project where his students would live in a completely different environment for a week. They would learn a new culture. These 8 Weslaco East students were on a mission.
We could be as good as any other school out there, and we are. I know that it's a very good school, so I want to leave with a good impression from Weslaco East, and I want them to remember it. Because I know they're also Wildcats, and we're Wildcats too, so it's basically the same thing. We're same students here. We all are academically good at it, and we have sports, and everything's the same, just different people.
For 1 week, East High School students would be the host to 7 students from Hazelwood. They all understood that the 7 students from out of town wanted to learn more about the Hispanic culture. They wanted to know what it was like being a teenager living so close to the border of Mexico.
If they're from a different country or anything. Yeah. Plus, I guess talking to them a lot and getting to know them more just makes it better.
Yeah, it helps.
Following them on Twitter and Instagram.
Nerves were not a problem for the Weslaco East Wildcats.
I don't think they're any different, really. That's just the way I see it.
I don't know, I just felt it would be like a cool experience for the both of us. She seems real excited to come, so I don't know. Her excitement is just making me more excited for when she gets here.
RJ Fentress, it's, what time is it? It's almost 5:40 at day 2 now, and I woke up forgetting I'm in Texas. I'm tired. We're about to take another 10-hour drive. I'm excited, but I'm really tired.
Day 1 of our Weslaco experience. It's day 2 of traveling, but that's a whole different story. So I'm really excited to meet my family and just start diving into this experience. It's gonna be really fun, and obviously there's things I'm nervous about, but my biggest fear or apprehension or whatever you want to call it is just not having something to write about when I get back, which I know is not going to be the case. I'm going to have something to write about. There's going to be so many things that I experience on this trip that I can never imagine, but at this point I don't know what to expect, and that scares me.
Today I'm excited to meet the families and to see what they're like and get to know them, like see where they live. I'm super excited about that. And I'm nervous too, just about like not knowing like who they are, but I'm sure I'll really like them.
Oh, this was mine. Together, everyone. Together.
After a 17-hour drive, the Missouri students were finally in Weslaco.
So are you nervous?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Tired and exhausted after sitting in a 15-passenger vehicle, the students from Hazelwood West were more nervous than excited.
Well, I mean, it's like a totally different atmosphere. Like, you're in a new place and you don't know these people, and I don't know, it's just scary. Like,
And you don't know like how they're gonna feel about you.
Yeah,
So
right.
The 7 journalism students gave up their spring break to travel to Weslaco and work on a class project. Some students told us it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
We're here to study immigration reform from the perspective of teenagers living on the border. So we really want to get into the teenagers' perspective of everything. Because we kind of like hear what people say around us, and sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's positive, but we've never really experienced it for ourselves.
They said when they first heard about the project, they were excited but had no idea where they were headed.
Did you guys ever hear about Weslaco?
No.
So when they said, all right, we're going to Weslaco, what did you guys say?
I had no idea that it even like existed.
Yeah. I think I just knew, I think when he came to us about it, he said like Texas. He said like.
He didn't say.
Yeah.
Where?
Like,
He didn't say where. He said
Yeah.
Texas.
Nervous about what the future week holds, the Midwestern students kept an open mind.
I don't really know what my expectations are yet, because I haven't even met my family yet, and I haven't I feel like once I get to this school and start living it for a day, I'll be able to really tell what is really going to be happening.
After a quick on-camera interview, they all piled back into the 15-passenger van for their next stop, Weslaco East High School. Anticipation was in the air as the Weslaco East students awaited the arrival of their new friends. As they stepped off the van, you could see the excitement in each student's face.
You like hiding behind?
The Missouri students were welcomed with big hugs and handshakes. After a quick introduction, they headed to the cafeteria where the host families waited. Moms, dad, brother, and sister were all there to greet their new family member for the week.
Thanks for having me. Oh, yes, no problem.
I think Weslaco East is very much like one big family, and I think that's an easy message for us to give off to other people, and especially to visitors on our campus.
Have a good rest of the weekend, Weslaco East High School people. Be nice. You have a great representation. You're staying in good places. So.
Weslaco East principals Sue Peterson and Stephanie Inlow welcomed the out-of-towners with a few popular Mexican dishes, such as botanas and pan dulce. Not much talking was going on as the students tried the food for the first time.
Love it. Right on. We already killed it. Another plate. We're about to go get a lunch.
Really good. It's amazing.
It's chicken. Or this. Chicken, right? Yeah. This looks pretty good too.
It is such an honor to be welcomed like this here. I just want to say thank you.
After a quick thank you from Hazelwood teacher Chris Holmes, the students were off. They would spend the weekend adjusting to their new homes. They would interact with family members and members of the community. They would learn the Mexican culture and try many different Mexican cuisines. But most importantly, for a whole week, they would get to experience all the ins and outs of being a teenager living along the border. The Missouri students were asked to shadow their host. Whatever the Weslaco East students would do during a normal week, the Hazelwood Wildcats would do as well. For some, that meant school started at 8:10. For athletes, morning workouts start before the sun comes up. In Texas, sports are a big deal. Apparently, that's not the case in Missouri.
Definitely college level. Stadium, in the stadium, oh my God. It's huge. Huge.
The Missouri students were in awe not only with how many students participate in different sports, but also with how the Weslaco East Wildcats work as a team.
The unity that's here, like, especially with the sports, because every morning I have to go to football practice with Ryan, so it's like I'm seeing these guys come together, all motivating each other to lift more and to do more and to push their limits, and I've never really seen that in a team, and that's what a real team should do. But yeah, it's really inspiring. It's something I want to be able to just take back to Missouri and be like, we've got to get to this level with our teamwork.
Not only did students participate in extracurricular activities with their hosts, but also attended classes.
Vine desde Missouri a Texas un viaje largo.
Un viaje largo.
Yes.
Muy bien. ¿Qué largo? How long?
22 hours.
Okay, ¿manejaron?
Yeah.
After a morning full of classes, the journalism students didn't see much of a difference. Students at Weslaco East were just like their friends back home.
I've said that a lot of times, like it doesn't even feel like I'm in Texas, like I feel like I'm at home.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with talking about what you observed.
At 2:10, right on the dot, the Missouri students would meet for their daily meeting. The reason for the meetings was to allow the students to share ideas of what they experienced. It also gave them time to write down notes for their school project.
I observed a lot with Flo.
After spending the weekend getting to know the family and the first day at Weslaco East, they had many things to share.
I like the environment. It's just so different. And it's like calm, and like people in St. Louis are like rushing you to do things, and they're like angry, and it's just different here. It's like peaceful.
There's a lot of respect here and a lot of trust. There's so much trust here. They don't have to wear IDs. I mean, I have to wear my ID unless I'll get written up, so it's different. I like it.
Initial observations the Missouri students had about the Weslaco East students were how so much of the East students' lives centered around their families, the respect for their peers and teachers, and how welcoming everybody was.
Weslaco East, it is a great school. Like, compared to my school, it's not different, but just the way people walk around, they're friendly. It's a very friendly school. I'll have random people come up to me and just shake my hand and say hello, welcome, are you from Missouri? You know, it's very welcoming, friendly, very friendly environment.
The reason for the Missouri students' visit to the Valley was to learn what it's like to be a teenager living so close to the border. Some students at Weslaco ISD have struggles that students from other states will never have to worry about. During the trip, the 7 journalism students would experience the struggle firsthand. On a gloomy Wednesday morning, the Missouri students would skip class to learn a different lesson. Exhausted and overwhelmed after being away from home for 6 days now, the students would spend their morning touring colonias.
I hate to see people living like that, in that rough. You know, it hurts to see that. Because we got out of the van on one of them.
Most of the Missouri students had no idea what a colonia was. The group wanted to stop and talk to people living in these neighborhoods.
Hola, mucho gusto. Que Dios te bendiga, ma. Es en español.
God bless you.
For one Missouri student, seeing people live in poverty was nothing new.
I kind of came down with the mindset that anything can happen, and where we are, we're still in America, because I know a lot of people that I came with, they haven't seen houses with people struggling and all that, and not seen the broken down houses. I've seen all that, and I mean, I've been a part of all that before, and in my own life, not just seeing other people. So it's like, I see this stuff all the time. It's not just here.
For others, it was an eye-opening experience. It struck a nerve with some students so much that they called for a change.
I wish people could, that could change that stuff, change it, because that is not right how they live like that. To be honest with you, I don't know how they're making it.
Not every student at Weslaco East lives in these conditions. Walking the halls of the campus, it's hard to pinpoint which students live in these neighborhoods and which don't. With the help of the staff at Weslaco East, the Missouri students got to sit down one-on-one with students who do. They asked questions and heard stories about how different life is for them. For the first time, students heard stories of their journey for the American dream. Thick brush, dirt roads, and a river are what keeps immigrants from the American dream. Students spoke to the young journalist about family members who crossed over in hopes of giving them a better life.
We are America's front line of security. That's our job.
One morning, the Missouri students joined the United States Border Patrol to see for themselves the struggles undocumented immigrants face. Agents see a high number of mothers crossing with children. Immigrants have told agents they want a better life for their kids. The stories of sacrifices these undocumented mothers go through gave the Missouri students a new perspective.
My mom's always like, oh, all these foreign people, they're stealing our jobs and they're making us pay more taxes. I'm like, Mom, like, you don't know them, like, you've never even talked to them. And like, when I'm here, Marissa's telling me all these stories, and I'm like, I feel so bad that my mom feels that way. Like, I don't know. I want to go back and tell my mom and be like, Mom, look, you were wrong. But I don't know. Why is she wrong? Because, like, they're, like, working so hard for these things, and she doesn't see that. All she sees is, like, they're trying to take these jobs, but really they need jobs because what they had wasn't good for them.
After visiting for a week and seeing life along the border firsthand, they hope to change views at home.
Thank you. Muchas gracias. Que Dios los bendiga a todos. Bye. Muchas gracias. Suerte y adelante.
I don't think I knew really anything. Like I really didn't pay attention to it that much just because it didn't affect me. You know what I mean? I wasn't really, I'm living in the Midwest, so it wasn't really a thing that I had to worry about. But I mean, I don't know. I think I probably would have been influenced by my parents, whatever their opinions were. So now, hopefully, I'll be able to go back and influence their opinions and show them what I've learned.
I feel like you can read about it, but you don't fully understand it until you come here.
Immigration reform is a controversial issue. Most students who are in the United States illegally say they just want a better life. Rio Grande Valley school administrators cannot confirm that Mexican nationals attend public schools. They say they are aware of the situation. At Weslaco ISD, every student has the same opportunities. It's the district's goal to provide the best education for all students. It was a week full of non-stop activities for the Missouri journalists. They learned that students in the Rio Grande Valley carry a heavier burden than other students in America.
It is an American town that deals with American struggles, and some people's struggles are harder than others. But some people have made it farther than others. But everybody's living their dreams out here. I feel that way.
Oh, they love them. They just take them in as our own.
Yep.
Like,
as soon as I got there, they were just make yourself at home. And like, cool.
Yeah, so like we just felt really comfortable with Kyle. So it was really cool.
They noticed attending high school in a different state is not very different.
What I learned was that really it's not that different from our school, and I think I was expecting it to be like totally different, and I don't know how different, but like just it was really similar. Like even like the pre-calc class that I was in, we were learning the same exact things. Like I don't know why I thought that it was going to be, they were going to be learning all different things, but it was the same.
They tasted Mexican cuisine.
The food is awesome here. I think I have like cow tongue, and they didn't tell me that at breakfast, so I ate some of it and I was just like, thanks guys. It was good. So, and then everybody else was grossed out and I'm like, hey, it's cool. I'm okay, I'll eat it.
And have a full week of memories to go back to Missouri and share Weslaco East student stories.
Well, we didn't really come down here looking for something certain. We came down here to just like establish a story. Like we didn't know what we would find when we got here, but I think that I got some really good stories. So I'm really excited to write.
All right, guys. The Missouri journalism students will write a book about their experience in Weslaco. When they're done, they will share their work with their Weslaco East friends. During the Missouri students' spring break trip, they found a new perspective on immigration reform, how we live along the border, and what it takes to be a student at Weslaco East High School. They also built a friendship that could last forever. For KWES TV, I'm Heather Arevalo.